But now them are take up themselves to put fast food place. Why they couldn't give a black man the place for run? Why them couldn't give me a restaurant for run down the court and let me start a little business there? Ne? And say, all right, see me give you a business there, shut your mouth and leave the government. If them they give me that business, them would have just go shut me. See it there? To the 14,000 rank and file officers, them deserve them overtime pay and all of that. But tonight I want to look at the truth. You saw the footage where the police come and he have him hand behind him. If him have him hand behind him though, Jamaica, how it end up that is a shootout? Or could it have been a mistaken identity? Could it have been a mistaken identity? What could it have really been? Not carrying the young man. If the young man said to you, you remember Isaac Buchanan has been talking about the injustices, you know, that many ghetto youths face in this country, you know. And him have a speech problem, so him probably autistic or have that kind, him have a disability. And you're telling me that the police go just shoot, kill the people and pick this up? Understand the video? If you look at the video, you see where I'm complying with the police.
Now, with another developing story, family members of 27-year-old Romario Ricardo Sterling are demanding justice following his death last week. Sterling died in a fatal police shooting incident at his home in Bogwalk, St. Catherine on Thursday. The relatives are demanding answers for what they describe as an execution. Our reporter is Raman Gordon.
Something's not adding up. At least, that's the latest assessment from the family of Romario Ricardo Sterling, the man allegedly shot dead by security forces last week. Police reports are that at 8 o'clock Thursday evening, a team operating in Bogwalk, St. Catherine, came under fire from Sterling, who was fatally wounded. However, new CCTV footage obtained by CVM News brings the police's initial account into disrepute. That man in the white jacket is Sterling. He appears unarmed and seemingly compliant with the police request to kneel with hands behind his head. The footage quickly cuts the gunfire, so it's admittedly unclear what happened in the moments frozen on screen. But accounts from other residents in the area who chose to speak off the record are eerily similar. They all claim Sterling.
It's one gunshot I hear, Jamaica. And I see the man comply with the police. So I want to know now if police come at my yard and me comply with them. Is it a case that you might end up there? If you have a speech impediment or an illness or a disability, is it a case that's how the police going to treat you, Jamaica? These are questions that must be answered in the course of natural justice. People can't be treated like this, you know. People's rights can't be victimized like this, and people just take it like that. But you know what? They never expect that them get a place they would have camera. Them never expect say them get a place that you see get a people. $50 can buy you one camera on Amazon. Invest in a camera around your house. For your own security, if you see the criminal, the police, the thief, the this, the that. Because it's the camera caught them. It's the camera caught them in the act. They never expect the camera to catch them. But see there, the camera caught them. What them going to say like Shaggy, it wasn't me. And that them going to say like Shaggy, it wasn't me. Yes, but the camera catch you know. And all who depend that raid and all who went on that must be taken off frontline duties. All of them who got kill the people and picnic, who have the speech impediment and the disability must be taken off the front line. You must remember human rights and you must respect people's rights and dignity to human life. You don't have no respect for human life in this country. You don't take and just put people in a body bag and people forgot pay a funeral, cost and this and that and reality. It could have been your son, Jamaica. It could have been your nephew, Jamaica. It could have been your child, Jamaica. It could have been your man. It could have been your husband. It could have been your uncle, Jamaica. Police in this country and the policing in this country. That is what Kevin Blake must fix. Boost the moral of the police force, but fix the professionalism of the police force. Boost the moral of the police force, but fix the professionalism of the police force. The poor people, them picnic dead, and them have forgot plan funeral. And all they go hear police say, oh, mistaken identity and whatsoever, and then just talk in a news report, say it was a shootout. And a lot of people from last week into this week have been speaking about, one, having the Speaker as the head of the Parliament and the Prime Minister as the head of the government. And the Speaker, that being the wife of the Prime Minister. I know that from inception, Advocates Network Jamaica had an issue with Juliet Holness being the Speaker of the House. You have had several press releases on the matter. And yet again, we are here with the issue of the Speaker of the House. This time, many are saying that the Speaker is prejudicial. The Speaker somewhat is biased. The Speaker is unfair. The Speaker is hiding reports. What's your take on the recent developments coming from the opposition and civil society about the wife of the Prime Minister being the Speaker of the House?
As you said, Andre, the Advocates Network came out very early with a statement that it just doesn't look good. It not look good. And I think let's step back as to why. Why doesn't it? What is really the role of the Speaker?
Yes.
And you know, I heard a conversation, a little piece of the conversation. I didn't hear all of it, but I think the questions that your listeners are asking and all Jamaicans asking is, how are we managing the country on the behalf of the people of Jamaica? How are we making decisions that somehow don't look like those decisions are in our interest?
Mm-hmm.
And so the question really speaks to governance, and that's why we're having a 101, right?
Yes.
It is about how we manage and organize Jamaica, right? When we talked about it, when I was on the last time, I talked about it's like a team, right?
Yes.
So we have a team and we have to organize the rules, make some decisions and so on. And you know who we bring in to do that? A referee, right?
Yeah.
You think about like a football match, right? You bring on
yes,
a referee.
certainly need a referee or an umpire if it had been a cricket match.
Absolutely. And that's, I remember if anybody watch football and cricket, you know, say, you don't want your umpire or your referee to be biased.
True.
Right? Because you don't want the hand of the referee, the rules that they draw when them say you're out, right?
Yes.
You don't want, you make sure that them don't out your person if it's not legitimate. You know, that you really have to break the rules and so on. So we understand that in football and cricket. It's the same kind of thing in Parliament. The Speaker is kind of the umpire, the referee.
And the referee.
And so you don't want the refereeing to be biased. So the kind of Speaker you tend to want is a Speaker who really don't have no interest on either side. Right? Now, if the referee or the umpire is, you know, the wife of somebody who's playing on the match, on the field, then you have to wonder, boy, really and truly, we won't get any fair referee in here. We're not sure.
Yes, so the issue of impartiality is questioned.
Exactly, and that has been the issue from day one. Because that connection is too close for comfort. In fact, I must tell you, I use ChatGPT because I never have the time for go search around in other places. I'm not saying that the AI is correct, but I asked the question, where in the world is there a government in which the Prime Minister's wife is in the Speaker of the
The
House.
head of Parliament.
And ChatGPT said, no, they can't find nowhere.
There's nowhere else in the world. So Jamaica has set a precedent.
I don't know. Maybe ChatGPT not accurate. I'm going to say that quickly, right? Because
Yes.
I can tell you, I use the ChatGPT and they're not always right. All right. So I'm going to say that. But it is very rare, if at all, that you will find any country in the world in which that situation is held.
So Jamaica set a record where the umpire
and the umpire connected to the people on the field.
Captain for the cricket team.
There you go. So therein lies the problem. And so every judgment and every decision that is made is being questioned.
It's questionable.
Right. And there's a lot of discussion about this particular issue, about the tabling of the reports and so on. And most Jamaicans are completely confused and they say, boy, what that have to do with me? Well, it has to do with the fact that this is about the management of your affair. Remember, we talked about the managing of this team. This team is Jamaica, it's all away, right? And therefore, if there is mismanagement, if the rules are not properly developed in our interests, if they're not properly implemented in our interests, if the referee is not fair, then it's all our business. So we have to understand that that is the context in which all of this discussion is taking place.
Let us carry the conversation a little further tonight, Prof. So the referee got the report from January.
Mm-hmm.
The referee sent back the report to the Auditor General. What are the grounds on which the Speaker of the House can send back a report?
Well, the law sets out the framework in which not only these reports are tabled, but the powers of the Auditor General and other agencies of government in which we understand their roles and their responsibilities. Mm-hmm. So it's important to understand that the Auditor General have a very special role. Let's take it back to the cricket match, right? So yes. Money have to spend for the cricket, right? To play the game. All right. And so you need somebody to check that the management of this match and the spending of the money to make sure the match happens is done within the rules.
True.
That's the role of the Auditor General. The Auditor General is there to make sure
that
our money is spent the way it's supposed to spend. No thieving, no guan, no all kind of corruption and thing in it. That is the role of the Auditor General. And the Constitution protects that Auditor General by providing powers that enables the Auditor General to do their work without the domination of the executive. But, I want to come back to this definition of the executive and the legislative rules, because it's very important. It's part of the confusion. Let me pause and do that now, because this issue of the reports has this problem of the role of the legislative
versus the role of the executive.
Right. Now, what are we talking about when we talk about the legislature and the executive? And I want to give a historical context because we don't just end up here today. We come from this long history, and it's not many, many years ago. The majority of us, our foreparents, our enslaved Africans who were here in Jamaica 300 years ago, they did not have the right to vote. So these MPs that we are calling our representatives in Parliament were not elected by us. The first election in Jamaica, I want to tell your audience, is all the way back in 1663, right? And the voters list was 300 white men, not women, white men, out of a population of about 6,000 at the time. So it's not even all the white people could have voted, right? So you started Parliament with a very elitist, select group of people that you're running the entire society on their behalf, right? You have the governor, and that is who they represented. So you fast track down to emancipation, 1838. at that point, we all, in principle, theoretically had the right to vote. So we could have voted who we want. But guess what? The rules were there
Yes.
to prevent us, because we have to have land and all them things. We're not on land, right? So it's all the way down in 1944 before all of us could get this right to vote the people we want to represent us. Why do I go all the way back there?
Yes.
Because I want to set up the idea that when we vote in elections, we vote to put people in parliament to represent us, to make laws for us on our behalf.
Yes.
That's who the legislators are.
True.
And everybody who votes does that. But there's another group of people who are also legislator, who we call the executive, whose responsibility it is to execute the law. That's why we call them executive.
The executive.
Right. So
just let them know who are the executives.
Well, the executive mainly
is the cabinet.
Are the cabinet ministers and of course, the prime minister. The prime minister leads the cabinet, and that is the main responsibility for them to execute the law. But the lawmaking process is in the hands of every MP, including the executive. And there is where the confusion starts. That's the confusion start right there. Because if you have plenty people from the executive who dominate the parliament, and if you have the power concentrated in the cabinet, the prime minister, then everybody else just kind of keep them mouth and go with what the prime minister said.
True. And it's like it coming like a dictatorship.
And that is how we've been running parliament since independence. Whichever side is in power, right? We have the prime minister dominating the cabinet, the ministers, and it's them running. In fact, they run the entire country, and the legislator, the people we vote to speak for us, are speaking mainly for the parties and not for us. So that is how the things start to break down, right? Because everybody just chups them teeth now. We can't bother vote. It don't make no sense. We don't see no difference between the two sides. That is exactly where we are today. Now, what is happening is this, that when these reports, now remember, let me remind you, you have the speaker who is the referee, you have the people in parliament who represent these two sides,
the competitors,
right? And now you have an auditor general that a check now for make sure that we're spending money according to the rules, we're making sure that money don't thief out and all this kind of thing, right?
And then when you have a report now showing some member of parliament collecting money,
that are the problem. Hold on, we don't get there yet. Hold on. Because first,
the people want the spice.
The first question is, all right, so the reports are done every year. So annually you get some report. And the rules are, and this has been going on for a long time, over 100 years, when the Auditor General tables the report in Parliament, then it sends the report to Parliament, then it's tabled immediately, as soon as possible. That's the idea. Now, all of a sudden, we're hearing now that the speaker, the former speaker, this speaker, now have a new rule. And the new rule is, boy, it have to go to the Parliament. The ministers have to look at it first. We're hearing that certainly in the case of the Integrity Commission reports, that's another agency that does reports that go to Parliament, that now have to go to a committee.
Oversight committee.
Right. The problem that many of us are having is this.
Yes.
If our representatives are going there to represent us to speak on our behalf, and they're making laws on our behalf, then we have to be very careful that all the decisions made in Parliament by the legislators, we're talking about the House of Representatives now. Remember, Parliament have two houses. One is the Senate, and one is the lower house. Right. So we are talking about the lower house, the House of Representatives, right? Now, we don't want all the rules and everything that happening in that House of Representatives to be dominated by the executive. Because if that's the case, they're making the law, them implementing the law, and them refereeing the law. You see the problem there?
Making the law.
Making the law, because them is legislator. Some are the executive, but them dominating the legislature. So they must execute the law too. And now we have someone who is refereeing the law in the same way.
So they could call it a dictatorship.
But boy, you can call it that, but remember, if in a dictatorship, but I have no parliament, The parliament only makes sense if you're building a democracy. Kind of dictatorship, you just make the rule. You and your friend them, right? You don't need no parliament.
No, so but remember it's a framework, but you have the lead captain who is basically working in a dictatorship. That's what the
all right, but the effect is exactly if the effect is that you have the house and you have the whole game set up, but it rig up in such a way that you're constantly getting this kind of dictatorial type decision as if you don't have a parliament in which you're going to debate and so on, then that's why people say we have a dictatorship, right? But we have to fix what we have. And what the idea of fixing what we have is to improve the governance, improve accountability, make sure so the laws and the rules and things them sort out, so it not create the kind of confusion that we see going on here now, where everybody confused because we hear say law is, both of them are read law. One side I read law and say we don't have to carry it to no minister or anything. Another side say, well, it should just go straight. But whatever the details are, there are laws. And let me also add another person in this. We now have the role for the Attorney General. Now, the Attorney General is the lawyer who is supposed to represent all the government, and that means all of us, right? Because sometimes you have to sort out those rules. So
why then does the Speaker doesn't want the Attorney General's ruling be made public, and he's the lawyer on behalf of all of us?
That is the problem right there. So you can't put this is where now you have a strong executive, the executive dominating the parliament, then the executive is treating the lawyer as if it's the executive lawyer. Remember that?
It's not the people's lawyer.
Not the people's lawyer, exactly. And people are saying, we want to see the ruling, because if we the people, remember, I want our listeners to keep remembering this. Every time I come on your show, I'm going to keep saying it again and again. Are we own Jamaica? The government's supposed to represent our will. We are supposed to tell our representatives what we want them to do, right? And therefore, everything is supposed to set up to represent what we want. And so when the Attorney General, who is representing the government, the people we put in parliament, our people we send for to manage on the country on our behalf, when that Attorney General is giving a ruling, then we want to see it. We're not begging a favor. We want to see it because you're making rules about us, on our behalf and in our interests. So that is what is happening now. All of a sudden, now here's the thing. Now the lawyers say, well, some rules, well, maybe we shouldn't share. I don't know. Maybe there are. I would want to err on the side that most rules should be made public, because you're talking about the people's affairs, right? So if not all, most of it. And in this instance, where it's causing so much confusion on the part of the people of Jamaica, everybody is saying, certainly the advocates are saying, make the ruling of the Attorney General public.
But Juliet Holness don't want to do that. She wants to reserve the right to keep it in her bosom.
Well, let us hope that she does what she did yesterday, I think, or the day before, which is she returned those reports, those 2 reports, and there was a strong call on behalf of the advocates, and others have been saying, listen, table the reports. The opposition have been saying, table the reports. So she finally tabled the report. So
she come under public pressure.
Under public pressure. So let's hope that the pressure to get the Attorney General's opinion public will reach to the speaker, and the speaker will do what she did with reports, which is to make it public.
I want to ask you,
Interest of
I
the
want to
public.
ask you another question, because you should be a fan in parliamentary procedures. Is it moral and ethically bounded for the Speaker of the House to reprimand the Clerk of the House?
Well, that has become another issue, and I want to again put that in context, because the Clerk of the House is a civil servant and is guided by the staff orders.
So if the Clerk of the House is a civil servant, can a politician be reprimanding a civil servant?
Absolutely not. And let me say this, that the clerk doesn't work for the speaker.
Oh, repeat that.
The clerk does not work for the speaker. The clerk does not work for the parliament in a simple way. The clerk is responsible to the ministry responsible for parliamentary affairs, right?
So Juliet Wallace is not her boss? Absolutely
not. And therefore, there's a procedure for disciplining members of the public sector. The procedures are in the staff orders. Every person who is going to be disciplined in the public sector must have a fair trial. You have to hear their side of the story.
Yes.
And that process must be completed before any letter can be placed on the file of any civil servant.
So basically, the opposition is asking for her to withdraw the letter, and she's adamant that she's not doing so.
Well, let me say that what I heard in Parliament from the Speaker is that she is in dialogue to resolve the matter. I didn't hear what you just said. You may be correct, but I heard that she is in dialogue. So I understand that until that dialogue and discussion finishes, then she will determine whether what happened was consistent with the law first, not good or bad, but because remember, everybody has to act
what
within
is
the law.
called is inexperience in parliamentary procedures. Why Juliet Wallace did that, you know? It's inexperience, and to step out of bound to do something like that, reprimanding. So if the clerk, she's not the clerk boss, and she write the letter to the clerk, who is responsible for the clerk?
Well, this is the point. The clerk has a ministry and a minister and a permanent secretary responsible for the work of the clerk,
the parliament,
who work in parliament, and therefore the permanent secretary is the person that.
So that letter should have possibly gone to the permanent secretary and not the clerk.
Definitely not copied to members of parliament. Absolutely not.
Yeah, because if all 63 members of parliament saw that letter, it's wrong.
Yes. So that was an error, and I think that will be corrected over time. And I think that the dialogue and the discussion that is taking place is about putting what happened in perspective. And I think it will become clear to the speaker that what happened was inappropriate, unfortunate, and quite frankly,
unethical.
Absolutely, because even if there was no rule, you have a problem with somebody who is working with you to help you to do your job. You don't embarrass the person like that. Oh Lord, no.
Mr. I feel it for the clerk in the house.
Yeah, no look good at all.
You know that yesterday you write me and make everybody come. Remember, I know 63 MP get that, you know, and the MP them just circulate it in the media, and everybody get that in a court. This woman has been working with the parliament for near 30 odd years, 40 odd years, soon to retire. This woman has never been in the public domain in a them baga and fre. And because of political inexperience, you made the woman look like that. She should withdraw the comment, and she should publicly apologize to the lady. Because never we have seen several. I am 32 years old. And I've seen several speakers over my years, and I know you, Prof. Hamilton, have witnessed several speakers over the years. Have you ever seen this kind of low-class attitude to any member?
No, absolutely not.
In the parliament and the parliamentary team?
Absolutely not. And I think, again, just in terms of just how we interact with the people who work with us, we can't do a good job unless we have a good relation. And as long as that woman is going to be working with her, she will have a problem. If that is the way she continues to engage.
Dereliction of duties.
So I think it was in bad taste. And I do hope that there is a public apology to her, and a direct one, of course, to her, but that the country also knows that this is a teachable moment for all involved, all of us who are observing this for the first time, and we understand that, not only is it contrary to the rules, but importantly, just contrary to common sense and decency.
Let us now take a look at the report, Prof. Hamilton. The report for the Tax Administration Authority of Jamaica has now revealed that the taxpayers of this country have been paying almost $400 million for the past 2 years for properties, not yet. Just send a message and said, we'll soon. You understand? For the properties and Mandeville and Onotta Bay, they are saying that we're paying almost $400 million for those properties. One of those properties now has been revealed belongs to Member of Parliament and State Minister in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Norman Dunn. Isn't this an act of nepotism?
Well, let me say that I have not seen these recent developments. Today was very busy for me. I think this happened either today or yesterday. This whole, right? I know that there were 2 reports. That's what I was aware of. One was a special audit of the Finance Services Commission, and that was delayed in Parliament for nearly 3 months.
Yes.
And there was also a special audit of the Tax Administration, and that was also delayed for nearly 2 months. That's what I know. I've not had a chance to read the reports. I've heard about the fact that there was this building construction, the tax administration was trying to fix up a building to occupy it, and that it is not been occupied as yet. The amount of money that is paid is a lot. And
all right, so I want to show you a report.
I had when I heard it, I must tell you, Andre, is that don't sound like offices. It sounds like you're paying for a plaza or it sounds like it's much more. And maybe there's a legitimate explanation for the size of it. I just don't know. So I want to say.
So yes, the 400 million, it sounds like a plaza or apartment.
It does sound like offices, like for rent. That's a lot of money. Now, maybe it included the renovation cost. I don't know. But
no, it doesn't include the renovation cost, because tax admin came out this evening and they were saying in the press release that it's a part of the procurement process that they have to pay that kind of lease for the properties.
Wow, that's just very, very high as far as I understand from rental of properties across Jamaica. I've never heard anything like this. But what I want to say is this. That is why we have an Auditor General with the powers embedded in a constitution. And we have to pay close attention, all of us taxpayers, on the developments taking place, because remember the concern about a referee. You want an independent referee.
Yes.
So when you put that person to manage and to referee the rules, they should be independent. That Auditor General must also be independent. And therefore, when the reports are made, we must be able to trust those reports. Okay?
True.
And certainly our Auditor General's performance to date has not, I've not heard anybody question whether we can't trust these reports. And therefore we all put a lot of weight on this. And so it is, the details of it, of course, I've not seen it. And I urge the public, now that
what we will do
public,
is do a follow-up with you next week
yeah,
for you to read through the report.
Right, and it's not me, as you know, there are other members of the network who have been following
who
this.
will come and make a contribution on the report.
But the idea is this.
Yes.
This report is our report. Remember that, you know, public, everybody listening, it's our report. So you should read the reports. You know, Jamaicans, we do a lot of speculation and talk, and everybody says this, and we go on social
media. But the reports are very long, Professor. We have to dissect the reports for them.
True, but that is why
and
programs like yours,
don't like reading.
Andre, that is why I have a program like yours, you know, because people will come listen to you, right? And therefore, you are going to break it down and tell them what you know the report. And you will tell them
long, but I am dissecting it.
Yeah.
I am dissecting it, Jamaica.
And you do a good job in explaining some of these things to people, because you're right, not many of us have the time. But for those who have the time, read the reports, because guess what? When you speak, you can speak with a little more certainty because you have evidence, you have information. You don't have to make it up. You don't have to guess. You know, and that's why I urge people to look at these reports so they can be armed with the facts, with more information than just speculation.
Yes, Jamaica, that's where we have it tonight for Governance 101. That's,
Thank you for having me.
That's Professor Rosalie Hamilton, one of the conveners for Advocates Network Jamaica, who has come on and shed some light on the roles and the responsibilities of the speaker. Thank you so much, Prof. Hamilton. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have Dr. Devon Taylor joining us as we set a rat trap to discuss the whole issue of the access to our beaches publicly. Good. Thank you, Prof. Hamilton.
All the best. Bye-bye.
All right. Partner draw. Partner draw. Andre. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. In the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. In the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the parliament. Set a rat trap in the 2 foot rat them. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap. Set a rat trap in the 2 foot. Set a rat trap in
the others at the top of the government chain is asked to do it. So isn't it conflict of interest to know that one is the head of parliament and one is the head of government? That's total or absolute control, you know, near to dictatorship. Have you ever seen where the speaker has stood up in the interest of Jamaica and not her husband? Have you ever seen where the speaker has been impartial? Have you ever seen where the speaker has spread the lines of neutrality in the House of Parliament? I don't think so, Jamaica. I want you to listen to what Babsy Grange is saying today. She said it last night, but I never get a chance to play it.
As acting House leader and the minister responsible for gender, I strongly object to the statement in the House of Representatives today by the leader of the opposition in which he questions the election of the Honourable Speaker on the basis that she is a spouse of the head of government. The leader of the opposition has questioned a legitimate election of the Speaker that was undertaken by the entire House, not by some members of the House. By his statement, the leader of the opposition has brought the House into disrepute. The standing orders provide the qualification and process for a member of Parliament to be elected to the office of the Speaker. It outlines that a member has to be willing to serve in the role and must not be a minister or a parliamentary secretary. When the chair became vacant, in keeping with the standing orders, the member for St. Andrew East Rural was proposed by the member for St. Andrew North Eastern.
Madam Clerk, I beg to nominate the Member of Parliament for the great constituency of East Rural St. Andrew, Mrs. Juliet Holness, to become the Speaker of the House.
And seconded by the member for Kingston East and Port Royal.
Madam Clerk, I beg to second the motion.
There was no objection. No other person was proposed. And the member from St. Andrew East Rural, the Most Honorable Juliet Holness, was duly elected Speaker. There was absolutely no objection to the Speaker's election. So it is disturbing and hypocritical that after more than 5 months after her election, that the leader of the opposition should so spectacularly question the election of this eminently qualified woman. Like all members of the House who are not ministers or parliamentary secretaries, she has the right to be considered for the post of Speaker. The two-term member of Parliament, who also served as Deputy Speaker, was elected to the Speaker's chair on merit, not because of her spouse. It is wrong, and it harks back to a bygone age before women's empowerment to say that she or any woman should be disqualified for any post because of the job of her spouse. The Speaker was duly elected by the House and is a competent and capable Speaker. I strongly object to the position that the Leader of Opposition has taken.
Babsy Grinch, come here. Lord Jesus. Sometimes I don't understand. Why them love play this woman card, sir? When I heard Mark Golding speak yesterday, he never says because she's a woman. He never used the woman card when he talk about. He spoke about the act of nepotism and cronyism. He never spoke about she being a woman. He never said that she's incompetent. He spoke about Babsy Grange. She not being fair and just. It's not a gender thing, Babsy. When the woman, when the soldier deal with the woman and kick her down, Babsy never talk about that. Babsy only use woman carcass when it suit them, you know. This woman carcass only come out when it suit you and Babsy Grange. Listen to this, an ex-fool one here, Tam Tavares, Fins.
In politics, as in life, there has to be a baseline that you do not cross. A minimum standard of ethics, respect, decency, and honor. Today, the leader of the opposition sang below that line, demonstrating that he will say and do anything to distract the public, the people of Jamaica, from the true issue at hand, which is to articulate, to lay before the people of Jamaica a clear vision supported by a definite plan for the betterment of this Jamaica land we love. Golding has repeatedly taken to personal attacks instead of advancing real and practical ways to move the country forward. Today, Mark Golding had an opportunity to tell Jamaica how he would fund public statements and proposals that he has repeatedly made about the economic future of Jamaicans. Having created this anticipation and being unable to meet the expectation of the Jamaican people, his strategy at what was almost the very end of his speech was to attack the Speaker of the House of Representatives, to attack the Speaker of the Honorable House of Representatives in the person of Juliet Holness, Member of Parliament, who was nominated, unopposed, and seconded by the opposition in her ascension to the role of Speaker. Mark Golding has repeatedly demonstrated that he will say anything for political gain. He has flip-flopped on a number of issues when they no longer suit his political agenda and his blind pursuit for power to which he feels entitled without working for it. We saw this when his party supported what was accepted to be the vexed issue of public sector wage increases, to include that of parliamentarians. And we saw it again today when his party supported Juliet Holness for the position of Speaker only to withdraw that support when it no longer suited him. The Prime Minister has dedicated his life to the service of the Jamaican people. He has endured countless attacks on his character, to which he has never really responded, as he remains focused on delivering a better way of life for his country that he clearly loves so dearly. Juliet Holness joined him in politics and public service out of a sense of duty to our country, and has given her heart and soul to the people of Jamaica. We are disappointed that Mark Golding would use her to score cheap political points. Today, the attack on the House Speaker demonstrates a breach of every convention in the Commonwealth, every convention in our parliamentary system that governs how the office of the Speaker is to be respected and approached by members of Parliament. And further, it does not align to the spirit of us supporting our women when they, on their own merit, rise to position of influence in the society. Jamaica deserves an opposition with some semblance of honor and whose word means something. Mark Golding has shown us today that he has neither honor or plans for this Jamaica.
Jamaica. So you hear Tom Tavares, him now come out. All of them using this line about woman, 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 an attack on woman. It's not an attack on woman. You see people calling me Aaron. Hello, good night.
Good night, my dear. Play Michael Manley tape when he was leaving Parliament. Play that tape.
I don't have it, you know. I don't have it.
Send it to your man. Send it to
no,
your man.
I can't play it because it have some copyright something on it, all right?
Okay, okay. But talk about it then. Talk about what Michael Manley said.
Michael Manley said you can't make emotions rule you.
All right.
Can't make emotions rule you. Right? And to know now Jamaica that our emotions are ruling a prime minister. I surprised the Labour right them this morning pan nationwide. You know why hear what the Labour right them say pan nationwide? Play the nationwide clip this morning pan the Labour right them pan nation. A surprise.
It's clear to me Mark Golding made a calculation. He made a political gamble yesterday. And you know what, Tana? All things considered, from start to finish, I think he won. After landing his blows in the Parliament, he delivered an effective, fiery press conference at his West Kings House Road offices. That, coupled with what was, in fact, an effective presentation on the floor of the House, which hit several important points up to the point of the premature termination, means Mark Golding won the day. He won on politics and he won on policy. Only the most uncharitable observer would seek to take that from him. And yes, there is no an obvious distraction from the substance of what he presented. But is that trade-off fatal to his objective? I don't think so. Because what does he gain instead? He gains the opportunity to cast himself as a victim of government retribution and retaliation. He gains the opportunity to cast himself as a champion for the people silenced by a government that did not want to be criticized. That is a powerful political rallying cry. Again, yesterday was about politics, plain and simple. And we fool ourselves into thinking it was about more than that. And then in many ways, Mr. Golding was assisted in that yesterday by the reaction of the government benches. The walking out of the House of Representatives and the termination of the budget presentation of the leader of the opposition was simply wrong. Make no mistake about it. The opposition leader has the absolute right to be heard in the House of Representatives. That right is all the more amplified when he speaks in the budget presentation. That's the business of the Jamaican people. And no matter how intolerable the Prime Minister may personally find the comments, using the government's majority to effectively silence Mark Golding on the House floor was a profoundly undemocratic act. It played to the worst perceptions of this government.
You hear that? I never expect nationwide would have come out to come give Mark Golding a passing grade. But the truth be told, here's my advice to Mark Golding. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Because the truth is, yesterday, your entire classic budget presentation got shafted by the walking out of the government. You spoke some powerful things of how you'd want to transform this country. But 90% of Jamaicans never heard it because it was shafted by the Prime Minister walking out. I want Mark Golding tomorrow, Jamaica, to send a signal that him and a boy. I want Mark Golding tomorrow not show up at Parliament. I want Mark Golding tomorrow, Jamaica, to show a sense that him have some further. The ball is in his courts, you know. Politically, the ball is in his courts. And if the ball is in his courts, show him say you are done. Show him say you are the goat. Show him say Mark Golding say him are the boy. Show him say that you have the grits. Show him Mark Golding. Show him. Say you're a boy to him. Don't come and talk about because you believe in a good and fair governance. You come sit down and listen to him. He disrespected Jamaica yesterday. He disrespected the poor taxpayer of this country. Michael Manley said, yes, when it comes on to government business, you can't have personal feelings in it. And because you spoke about his wife, you never spoke about wife, you know. You spoke about the ethics, the common basic practice of ethical procedures in this country. The basic ethics of conflict of interest, the basic ethics of neutrality, and the biases. And what did he do, Mark Golding? Rather than him agree to disagree, he shafted your presentation. And what did he do? He walked out. Have no respect for you, the leader of the opposition. Have no respect for the opposition's view. But he want you sit down tomorrow and just cause this a Courtney and just want to come listen to him. I can tell you tomorrow, Jamaica, I am boycotting Andrew Holness's presentation. And so should you. I see them start the campaign online already about his presentation. None of us should listen to it. We should boycott it in an interest to show him that he is no one done round here and no one-upmanship will run this country. The man spoke about a conflict of interest. The man spoke and he has the right to speak because he's the leader of the opposition. He represents the view of the common man in the streets. And you know the funny part of it? I used to blame Mark Golding for not talking. He's talking now. He is talking now, Jamaica. Let him talk. Even if he's late in talking, he's talking now, right? And if he's talking now, the damn truth is, Andrew Holness, you're damn rude and disrespectful. If the opposition walked out on you tomorrow, you would say they're disrespectful. But they're not supposed to walk out. They're not supposed to show up. Chopper government. Chopper government to be. When you don't want bad up everybody and go on like you're in charge of this and in charge of that. But I can tell you, Jamaica, where I sit, where you sit, nobody should show up tomorrow to listen to him. We must send a signal to this man that he is not Donald Trump. Him think him run this country. Him think him can do the things him do. He must apologize to the leader of the opposition. He must apologize to the poor people of this country. He must apologize, Jamaica. And if he doesn't apologize, we must cancel him. Really? And you know, a lot of people are over here. They must know. That's what You remember yesterday I was on his live and he was quoting scriptures just like that. You know, like me and Christian and me can't quote them. Back on it. So me answer to myself say, I need to go research on quoting scriptures. So can you believe that he was actually in theology school? Yes, he was to be a pastor before him take up liar business. You never know. I said, tell me if this lie, me tell you.
No, you're not telling a lie. But what that have to do with the speaker of the house now? Me not
Because
understand
they sing a rock of ages. This only pastor sing rock of ages.
Okay.
No, the woman was duly nominated.
I'm gonna say this.
She was duly nominated, so that's what I have to say about
so, you know, sometimes it's so funny because it's a baby father second the nomination. But I've been told that when there are cases in court, I shouldn't speak on it. But one wonders. Anyway, next topic. What the reality is this? For her own merit, she is self-made. Not mocking the prime minister. No, I'm being serious. It's twofold because people have to. If she is qualified, which she is, nobody objected to her being the deputy speaker. And when Dalrymple fell in the dimple, she came up and the baby father on the other side, he seconded and they took no objection. Now, it's twofold because what happened if we took Ishmael's pink wall situation and there is mix up in the family home? What you're gonna have is a disgruntled speaker of the house who is mad at the husband, and then there's division in the house. So it may one day work for the benefit of the opposition. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to just make, when it comes to bias and stuff like that, you just have to make it work. So I just think context matters, and it is the timing of what is said.
But if you realize him just said Juliet, him never said Juliet, my wife.
He never said that.
In particular, Juliet, as the best baby father of ideas, you have to particularize. You have to particularize what you needed to say.
But so what that thing?
Don't you think he should have used yesterday to apologize to the nation for what happened on Tuesday?
Who should have apologized?
The Prime Minister.
Apologize for what?
To have disrupted the leader of the opposition's presentation.
Listen, this is precedent set from last year at the Oscars. When a man talk about your wife, you sit back in the chair, look at your wife, you get up, you walk over and you say, "Wow!" And then you say, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." After you do that, you get your prize. You make a speech and you get your prize. And then you get banned for 10 years. So he actually never carried through. He never carried through. It's in the parliament. He should have just whap-ow! Just box that and say, "Oh, don't talk about my wife." And makes you feel good as a speaker. And I say, "Yeah, my I just say, yeah, my donkey teeth, big nose." That kind of thing.
Strong jelly back man.
Yeah. So really, that's what should happen, but it never happened. But I can tell you, as a parliament guy, you don't apologize for things in parliament.
Them always say when you throw stone in a hog pen, I first one ball get a lick. You know? Boy, may I tell you,
Mr. Ishmael, you work for the government, you know, mind them call for your resignation. You have a whole body of people that will write and waste paper to say you should resign. Be careful, because they're watching. This is how we do it, Friday night.
But I mean, where am I?
Yes, but Ishmael,
you're not in Kansas anymore, Ishmael.
Ishmael, wait. Before you put yourself in another problem, I really wish for me think you're there.
I plead the fifth.
Ishmael, you're really there, people in building?
What people building? But they wear one day.
I said.
Below KFC.
Ishmael.
Look how they make Ishmael run God.
This is a serious matter. You're not afraid them come find you in there?
The man I use.
But me not in there. What you mean? You see me in there?
Ronnie, what you know about me? How you call me hypocrite?
Why not always I read the comments then?
Alright, but going on the naughty corner.
Them can't do me nothing. Isat is my attorney. Isat is my attorney.
When Rhoda fits. When Rhoda, I wonder which from my friend Marvin there. I think I should have made. No, me can't take Marvin tonight. That would have been too. Jamaican. Mr. Marvin blood pressure raised since 3. You can't take Marvin tonight, Ishmael.
Big up my boss.
I said you watch Marvin since week. Him never watch him, you know. I don't know him never watch him the Tuesday night. I'm busy.
Oh, yeah.
He was busy on the fix. I'm busy on some other shows.
That's exactly what I come up on TV. I mean, nobody fix my business. Don't make them set you up here, Ishmael.
I'm smart on that, my boss. I say, all of us talking that. I said, all of us.
We've been listening to you. We've definitely been listening to you. So we got to do this just for you. It's Payhouse Record presents the man himself, Redeem, talking about one of the baddest, one of the best uprising artists right now. Keys for the Cage Mind. With songs like Deception. So tell me if we life is a curse. And why you want wipe us from Jaja Earth? Peculiar People. Every morning when me rise up down at the river, will I swim. If you do not have no river, find yourself down at the spring. And your ear know what it all before you. And a brand new single. This one's called This Is Too Much. Say no more, this too much. Hey, Redeem say no more, this too much. Poverty lie in the long bend till the book. We garrison area, them want fix up. Talking about Redeem, one of the fastest rising artists right now. Hey, you can find him on all social media platforms. IG, Facebook, TikTok. It's Redeem Official. Or look him up right here on YouTube. It's Redeem Official Vivo. Hey, talking about good music, talking about authentic music, is right here. It's Redeem. It's a Payhouse production. Why you want wipe us from Jaja Earth? But for whatever life's worth. Hey Babylon, I have seen you work. Babylon, me see your dirty work. Babylon, Redeem, still see you work. Uno say uno disease affect a young baby, affect pregnant woman and the elderly. People pass.
Yes, Jamaica, that is where we have Redeem the artist and Isaac Buchanan the artist. Ishmael, when you go do your song?
I know say, as I said that so. Isaac, your visuals as a production expert, as somebody in production, I can tell you, your visuals top tier.
I appreciate that. Tell Jamaica Gleaner because them burn me out, come step on them paper.
Why did I do that? That's not nice.
What kind of production everything you in? What kind of production speciality you have?
I'm an editor and I'm a camera operator and I'm a communications consultant. You know this.
Yes, and he's a full member of the Julian diaspora.
So seriously though.
I'm an editor. Yeah man, your visuals top tier, man.
Respect. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I want to see you on the billboard next Isaac.
It's what man. When Gaza Bars free and these things and the big song then come out. Andre, me not get no support in Jamaica. If you don't play all my music, radio not play me, me not get no spins in Jamaica.
It's true.
Bad, poor. Them not dealing with me good out here.
Really?
It's true.
So
It's true.
that song don't play on radio?
No.
No.
Never.
No.
But me hear it, no man, it play on Hot 95. What they are doing now?
Yeah.
A foreign radio station that though.
Oh, that different. Yeah, I'm in rotation of foreign.
You know Hot 95 though.
Yeah, I do. I actually do.
But you're not playing out here. But
Never
let's
heard it
turn
out
our
here.
attention a little tonight to the Integrity Commission. There is a ongoing debate right now. Mark Golding said that the Attorney General's reports were tabled and they were returned to her. They weren't tabled in the House. And the government is accusing Mark Golding of telling a lie. Listen to this now and we'll get back to it.
Now to the details. The Integrity Commission has denied claims by opposition leader Mark Golding that reports it submitted to Parliament have not been tabled. The anti-corruption agency issued the clarification in a statement on Friday. Ricardo Brooks reports.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Juliet Holness, has repeatedly been accused by the opposition PMP of refusing to table reports submitted to Parliament by the Integrity Commission. Those accusations have led to questions in the public domain about her impartiality and fairness as presiding officer in the House. The accusations against Mrs. Holness have sparked speculation that she has been suppressing the reports. But on Friday, the Seymour Panton-chaired Integrity Commission said no. The Commission denied the claims that its reports have been suppressed. It says it has taken note of comments that are being made in sections of the media suggesting that its reports sent to Parliament have not been tabled. It says in the public interest it wishes to advise and confirm that all of its reports, including all investigative and annual reports that have so far been sent to Parliament, have been tabled. The Integrity Commission says no report it has sent to the Houses of Parliament is outstanding. The Commission says it's forbidden under the Integrity Commission Act to make any comment on matters currently before it. It says once it sends a report to Parliament on any matter, it will immediately advise the public. It says when that notice is made public, it is still, by law, prohibited from naming the subject of the report. The Commission concludes by assuring the public that once its reports are tabled in Parliament, it will issue an advisory on social media and upload the document to its website. Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Founder of
Ishmael, you know, Nationwide had to apologize for that newscast today, right?
More you play that too. That more you play to them too.
Calm down, Ishmael.
No, I'm calm. I am calm.
Hold a second.
They had to apologize because, you know, oh Lord.
Listen to this.
We should apologize to the clarification, and we should apologize to the opposition leader Mark Golding, because today in the midday news we carried the story about the Integrity Commission declaring that no reports from that office had been tabled, had been sent to Parliament but not tabled. The Integrity Commission saying that that claim was not true. The story we carried said that the opposition leader had said that Mrs. Holness, the House Speaker, had not tabled reports from the Integrity Commission. Of course, that wasn't so, because what the opposition leader did say at the opposition leader's office on Tuesday after that parliamentary walkout, where he said that reports from the Auditor General's Department weren't tabled, which was true because they were sent back. And he also said that reports from the Integrity Commission were sent to committees. He was clear in what he said. So he did not say that reports from the Integrity Commission were not tabled in Parliament, that they were being suppressed. He did not say that. And we clarified that in the story we carried at 5, but it was a midday report, which is problematic. And yeah, we want to just clarify that Mr. Golding did not say so, and we moved to set the record straight in the story we carried at 5. All right, let's get
You see your nationwide love tell lie and mislead the public.
Gleaner also did it and had to pull the story.
So
Gleaner did it as well and had to pull the
Mark
story.
Golding spoke about the Auditor General's report in his presentation. No, sir.
Right.
He said the Auditor General's reports were...
No, he did also speak about tabling of reports, but he was very clear on it, saying that she keeps sending them to committees that they
and not to the parliament.
And not to the parliament. And that is what has always been the issue. Because while sending them to the committees, she also asked for advice based on how to proceed. And she doesn't want to share that advice. And they have been calling for that advice to be shared because that advice is on behalf of the Jamaican people. So the record is in fact straight.
So why the Auditor General report go to the parliament and had to be returned?
Say that again.
Why did the Auditor General's report have to go to Parliament and had to return back?
I'm honestly not sure. They decided to pull it because I guess it wasn't finished. I'm not sure. So I won't say that was the case.
But these are the reasons what the PNP talking about, isn't it? That the reports are coming to Parliament and they're not being submitted to the Parliament.
They're continuously they are submitting these reports to committees that they are in charge of.
The JP in charge of the committees.
Most of the government ministers are in charge of these committees. And if that is the case, we talk about transparency all the time. How is that transparent? And that was the point he was trying to make, why he brought up the House Speaker. Because in his presentation, he was speaking about these as processes. And in relation to these processes, what the standing order says about these processes. And if the standing order says one thing, there are in fact legal interpretations. And if the legal interpretation says that it is so, share the legal interpretation with the House so that the country can be clear.
Don't you find a problem with your beloved self-made friend Juliet Holness? Confusing the Parliament with all of these reports. Sending them back to Auditor General, sending it to special committee and not carrying it into the Parliament for the nation to hear it. What's your take on that, Isaac Buchanan?
I gotta tell you something. One time I work at a bakery. And anytime I see my name and my friend them name on the bulla, I don't pack them in the bag. I carry them back around the back. I'm quick to pass up. Is the bulla names? I said it back in the oven. And the processes that Ishmael talking about. Sometimes it can be delayed, and sometimes when things get hot, you have to fire the baker too. Yeah, that's what it goes.
You see,
your argument is like the parables of Christ.
Well,
the wine and the bread.
Yes.
Okay. So your part
a real pastor, I know.
I would really want to hear one of his sermons.
This investigation is a job for Bailey's rum cream to find out what's going on back there.
Six Bailey not going on them.
I heard the hey, that's why you see it is very important to fact check. It is very important because today on a certain social media website, a certain group of people, I'm calling the name, come out strong and say who
the labor right them.
You not hear me call nobody name, boss.
Ishmael, I am paraphrasing for you. You can't.
No, don't paraphrase for me. No. I am saying a certain group of people came out swinging against the opposition leader, the general secretary, as well as the party as a whole, swinging without fact checking what they actually meant. Only to find out that all of these media houses had to apologize. Now, who left with egg pan them face now?
But there's not only should they apologize, they should lose them work and they should
Or you will lose your work. You will lose your work as a supporter.
Listen, I don't understand how the Society for Resignating People over at the UK2 G Summit don't write that those people should resign immediately. They shouldn't have their jobs.
They make you resign, though.
Hey, but like how you put that, my name did not get paid anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they not get no pay.
They always resign me and kick me out of work. And work where them not pay me. Like, me not get my JP stamp either. My name did not go get no money. Anyway.
Yeah.
But listen,
did you know I'm a JP?
You're a JP?
You're a JP?
Where's my? I want to show you my ID. Where's my?
Look, this guy's showing off on me, yo.
It's like everybody wants anything stand up.
Block this guy. Block this guy. This guy is a JP. He's a restorative justice officer. Yeah, thank you, Courtney. He's the junior executive member of the Diaspora Youth Council. Yes, he was on the mission in Kigali. He went to the last Olympics. He was at the swearing in of the Commissioner of Police. He's an ambassador and a special agent. And he's in a government building right now using taxpayers' Wi-Fi.
Murder!
What a bangarang! Hey!
Why you love to use that video? But you know, there's a developing bangarang happening whereby yesterday there was a guest lecture up by the University of the West Indies with Minister Pandora from South Africa. I don't know if you heard about it, Ishmael.
No.
I want you to play the video, the one with Kamina Johnson-Smith. She was at the, it's in there, man. Look, they were at the South African lecture, and Mr. Dabdu asked the question about why South Africa has such a passion for the Palestinian intervention.
Lord, welcome to Jamaica, Ambassador Yengeni, Mrs. Johnson-Smith. First of all, Minister, on behalf of the Palestinian community in Jamaica, we extend our sincere appreciation to you in your personal capacity, you in your capacity as a minister, your government, and your people for the support unwavering as it has been for the Palestinian cause and the human rights issues in Palestine. I would like to ask you, Minister Pandora, separate and apart from the obvious historic issues in South Africa as it relates to racism and apartheid, what do you believe has stirred the South African consciousness to be so adamant in their support for the Palestinian cause? Because in my view, separate and apart from the pain of the apartheid era, there must be something deeper in the culture of the South African people that has raised this level of consciousness to the point where we have to acknowledge that South Africa are, at this time, the human face of the world. Yes?
So we can allow you to leave since the question is directed at you.
I would like to ask her a question to Mr. Moderator. I would like to place a question to Mrs. Johnson-Smith. It's not a very complicated question. Let me try and answer your question. Firstly, South Africans benefited from international solidarity in their struggle for freedom. People who didn't know us, who'd never been to South Africa, when we asked them to raise their voices against what we were experiencing, they did. When we asked them to help us in any way that they can, they did. So our leaders undertook that wherever we see harm, we must be active and respond. So this is the reason it largely lies in the notion of international solidarity. Second, it derives from our Freedom Charter. In 1955, our leaders came together and drew the people of South Africa to a national congress with a single agenda of articulating what kind of South Africa we wanted to see once we had freedom.
People, tell me now. I said.
Yes.
We never know the coming in at the Olympics.
Context matters. Don't do
yeah, man. No, yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, the woman put a bun up a yard, brother. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Do what?
You can't do
the woman have left pot a rice pan the stove. You can't do that.
Respectfully, she's not here and I'm going to defend her. She had somewhere else to go. And it's a catch-22, you know. She's between a rock and a hard place. If she sit down there like she careless and don't move, the other people them are going to say, how she never come there. And then you and your friend Rattigan over foreign are going to say, I'm Pina, now do our work. Because she sit down side of South Africa when she have Haiti a mash up and she not attend to that. And the 50 picnic them did come on the ship. And she is the international minister of foreign affairs and culture. So she did have to go over there.
Plus, she'd have to make sure, say, the 50 pound of rice, the 50 pound of rice cook good. And it start, but so 49 pound of rice left.
Yeah.
So my question is though, why is when the question asked about Palestine she run? Why she never run before that?
No, that's a good, no, it's about the time, but it's obvious she didn't have to participate in that. Jamaica never participated in the vote. Why would she? Why would she need to stay? It's not like Jamaica don't have a voice on that. So it was a convenient time to leave.
You know, it's time to leave, you know, let's go.
But that is where I need to say then. So she running away because look like the man going to ask her why them abstain.
No, this is how it works. Say Palestine. Say
Palestine.
Bathroom break.
Murder! Well, you can't flip it some of them, sir. Say she hear Palestine, she run.
What? Okay, come on. We'll play music.
Producer, which for Almighty God there.
Yeah. Come on, man.
The producer, you know how they work, you know.
But no, gentlemen. You know what I say? All right. She said she going to answer the question. By she's sitting back down, she's saying that she would have responded to the question. And then when the South African minister answering the question, she take herself run through the place. It's an embarrassment on the government, man. Because she could have stayed back and answered to the question.
Who asked the question? The voice sounds familiar.
Them say a man named Mr. Dabdu. Hold on, let me take this. Hello, good night.
I sent this WhatsApp, my friend. Look at it.
Them send me something on WhatsApp.
No, but why are you looking at that? On her Twitter, she says, I note an unfortunate video circulating that misrepresents circumstances at a lecture event last night, headlined by South Africa's FM. The event with Minister Pandor was scheduled to end at 8, and I had a CARICOM heads meeting on Haiti that was set to accommodate my participation in
that
I'm
event.
too good for it. I too much reading this, and I'm not paid for
I
it.
advised Minister Control and the moderator waited as long as I could, which was at to 8:15, but then had to go. Persons heard me advise that I had a meeting and saw the moderator signal for me to leave. It is unfortunate that the inaccurate narrative would be pushed on social media when such rich discussions were held at the event. In a perfect world, maybe the moderator could have emphasized my prior indication and reason for departure. The PS and the CTD of the ministry remain in the event that any questions were posed which required a response from the government of Jamaica, and I am advised that none were. So she's basically saying that she did advise them long time, so she did have to leave.
Right. So the DSP and the SSP and the synergy, all of that should have come together. But seriously, she had somewhere to go. The CARICOM meeting about Haiti is more important because they get a lot of money from that meeting. So she had to be there.
You know that? You know so them get money. I said
not
money for money. Why else would they?
I don't know that.
Why else would they abroad?
Them wouldn't take the orphans.
Diplomatic relations.
Andrew would have never take the orphans. Him would have
I
never
don't
take
know
the
that.
orphans.
I don't know that. I don't know that. You're not
you know best because you work in a government. So let me take several seats. You're right. But she's not here to defend herself. I think she had a legitimate reason to leave, and it shouldn't be misinterpreted and
you do man have pot on fire
and disparage her name because
just so happens that she was leaving when a question was asked. It's just mere coincidence.
Well, I mean, it's protocol
to leave when a question is asked, don't it?
No.
Sorry.
For consistency, it's not like they vote for it. They don't participate in conversations in relation to that topic.
Maybe she needed to go to the bathroom.
Right. She left. No, she said in her tweet why she left. And I think we should just give it that and just.
She said she had to go to a CARICOM meeting on Haiti.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That was her reason.
Also, Andre, I must say, someone gave me a Bailey's cheesecake today, courtesy because I was on the program the other day. Someone big her up. Yes.
Now, see why you must come and partner on TV.
Hi, pretty lady.
So a lady see ya. So one eat KFC 6-piece every day, courtesy of partner draw TV. I use that eat Bailey's cheesecake.
We never said that. I said me get the Bailey's cheesecake, but you don't know if I pay my pay for it.
No man, the lady buy the piece of cake for you. That is really good. That you say you get it, or you're going to change your mouth.
Do man there work and we get the cake. That's all. I went by and I saw the cake and I liked it and we get the cake. You don't know if
is Devon House Bailey's cheesecake?
Me not telling you is where. You see you know. You see you know that with you.
And a regular cheesecake is.
But that's all right, Ishmael. But Jamaica, this is, you remember you can bless up the super chat and bless up this program as best as possible. Remember, Context Matters on Thursday, 5 to 7 p.m. And then subsequent at 8 p.m. you join me on Partner Draw TV. Remember, at 2 p.m. tomorrow, you have the Rattigan show, Reasoning with Rattigan.
So there's a Sunday evening show called Waterhouse Vibes. Rattigan is normally on that show. It's a nice show. Give it some support.
Okay. Well, Jamaica, this is where we wrap up for this week. There are other things to discuss, but Isaac had several cases to discuss today, and he's court logged. He has been at court all day.
Two more calls before you go, man. Just two.
Ishmael, you just love rush the things.
Ishmael, you want Courtney send missiles downtown across from KFC.
Thank God me not downtown.
Upper downtown.
That's where I'm ending the show for tonight, Jamaica. That's really where I'm ending the show for tonight. We'll come back.
They say what time on Sunday? 3 o'clock on Sunday.
There is somebody that I want to interview on Sunday. It's a young man who was a teacher but has fallen into some predicament. I think it's worthy of knowing his situation. So I'm seeing if I can get him Sunday to do an exclusive with me. But until then, Jamaica, on behalf of Isaac, myself, and Ishmael Douglas, this was the Partner Draw TV. Thanks to everyone who gave to the super chat and who continues to give. Courtney, have a blessed birthday over the weekend. And remember, if anybody wants to sponsor Courtney a nice phone, reach out to me. He really need the phone, man. He really need the phone.
Can you read this? Read this. Mailing Fetcher said something. Can you read it?
I want you to read it loud so Ishmael baby mother can hear.
Which baby mother you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah. If my party?
Yeah.
Me not really party still, but me come support you.
Yeah, just give me a support.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a G. I'm a single man, Miss Fletcher. But continue, let me hear this, because this so nice. I want you to read it. I want you to read it before you leave. Read it out loud.
Can I tell you?
I don't see the reading. You're too full of mix-up. Remember, Ishmael, you and I know that otherwise, so nobody put yourself in any problem. What is a peg of cheese? Quarter cheese. Them now get the older cheese. And them a get the small cheese. We're coming at the little round thing. Like we're quarter pound of cheese. Yes, man. Me deserve a good partner draft from all around. So if you look out for the teacher and say, teacher, see one nice Easter celebration here, don't it? But me still appreciate all on. Good, bad, and the different. The bad mind one them, the good one them, everybody. You know what I've been doing to the students? Today I took the time out to investigate. Say investigate. Yes, ma'am. Today I took the time out to investigate. What did I investigate? Remember last night I played a video where they're saying Christopher's own funeral home? You remember what talking about it? So I went on an investigative work to find out if Christopher owned a funeral home. But before I did that, I went on a mission to find out who has the contract with KPH, UA Hospital, and Spanish Town Hospital. You hear what I said? I went on a mission to find out, Jamaica, who has the contract for the dead people. You hear what I said, students? I went and I found out who has the contract with the dead people. You understand, Courtney? I went on a fact-finding mission, students. You know, want me to show you the evidence I find, students? So I've gathered that the company is a recent company. The company was formed a year before COVID. You hear what I said to you, students? Thank you, Mama Stella. The company was formed 1 year before COVID came to Jamaica. Hey.
So that's 2018.
The company is 2018, was formed in 2018. Yes. Yes, students, you know your professor goes and find the information. What is the relationship of Archer to Christopher? Hey, Lord God. So I said to myself, what is the relationship of Michael Archer to Christopher? Michael Archer is the recent winning candidate in the constituency of Christopher. See him there. See him there, Jamaica. Tell me if this is right. Hey. So Michael Archer, Jamaica. See him there on the picture. See him there. A counselor. A counselor in Christopher's constituency. So not only is a counselor, but he's a contractor to the government of Jamaica. You hear that, Jamaica? He's not only a counselor where he might get the 5.8 million a year. He might get triple or quadruple that time there to collect dead body a year time from the government. You know? So I want to ask you tonight now, Jamaica. Them never hear? Students, let me clarify again. The man on the screen with the mic is Michael Archer. He owns a funeral home in Spanish Town called Archer's Funeral Home. It is be said that he's the one that has the contracts. He's the one that has the contracts to collect the dead body from the people at UWI, KPH, and Spanish Town Hospital. So the dead bodies go to his funeral home in Spanish Town. Mr. Archer is one of Christopher's counselors. So not only is Mr. Archer, go to the document again. So see there, Jamaica. Mr. Archer is what happened to make everything shut down. Hold a second, Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica, as I was saying to you, if you look through the documents, this is from the Company's Office of Jamaica. Mr. Archer and his wife are directors of this company. Archer's Funeral Home. Wanna get that? If you wanna get that, say yes, you wanna get that. Who get that? Say yes. Lord Jesus. Wanna get that information? Them get that, right? All right. So there is Mr. Archer, who is the director. Why not calling me? Hello, good night.
Also Mandeville, Andre. Also in Mandeville. Mandeville deaths go to Archer too.
So all the dead in a Mandeville go to Archer's funeral home?
Yes.
What? You said the dead in a Mandeville, so that means that all in a Clarendon then too? Because Mandeville they in a distance. You would have to pass, Lord Jesus, what a bangarang we're unveiling tonight. So, Mr. Archer and his wife are the directors, and where is something called, where put up the company. If you want to go on Company's Office of Jamaica, go research it. Archer's Funeral Home and Supplies. You understand, Jamaica? The company was formed 2018. So I like to say the company about long time. Hello, good night.
Good night, Andre. And all the autopsies are being done there too.
The autopsies are done at Archers?
On Young Street in Spanish Town.
Really?
Yes.
Lord Jesus. So, Young Street in Spanish Town?
Yes.
Thank you for that information, caller. So what I want to ask now, isn't this a major conflict of interest that a council of government, a counselor to the Minister of Health, is getting the funeral contracts? Lord Jesus. You know, sir, it can't continue, sir. This can't continue in this country, sir. It cannot continue in this country, sir. Let me say it again, Jamaica. It cannot continue in the country like this. Thank you, Janet. Yes, caller, what are you saying?
Mr. Teacher.
Yes.
No wonder the hospital, they don't want to fix the hospital.
Well, it's a conflict of interest to know that is the minister and the minister's friend of the minister's counselor. It's a major conflict of interest.
If you get better in the hospital, you won't get no dead body. So don't fix the hospital and then get all the dead body. Now we know why the hospital is so.
Lord Jesus. All right, come. Don't bother distract me no more. Let me focus on the class. But think about it, Jamaica. Unnecessary them ravishing and raping this country. Unnecessary this is a friend and company business. You remember last night I said to you, Courtney and Jamaica, that crime is a big business in this country and the politicians benefit. Yeah, Christians have to prove to me that he's not benefiting from this. He need to prove to Jamaica that he's not benefiting from this. Our company from 2018, right before COVID, getting contracts to take up dead body, and the person is your counselor. And Jamaican people not supposed to talk about it. You remember last night I was saying to you, wasn't it last night I was saying to you students? Crime is a big business in this country. Let me take this. Hello, good night.
Teacher.
Yes, sir, good night.
You realize, is it a coincidence that that business started 2018 and we have COVID take over the country by 2019?
Probably it was pre-planned.
With so much debt? Is it a coincidence?
Boy, Carl, I don't know if them planning these things in advance.
Well, Jamaica need to look at these things. This is rape in the country.
So I wonder how much them get per day.
This is really daylight raping.
No, it's serious. No, how much them get per day? That we need to know, find out. How much them charge per dead people?
I'm not really sure because I've never had to deal with that sort of thing yet. But I mean, it must be a good business.
I need for somebody to tell me how much them charge.
I'm a good night, teacher.
All right, caller. Bless you. Hello, good night.
Yes, Andre, good night. Maypen too. All the dead from Maypen go to Archie's funeral home too.
Mighty God. So if he might get the dead from Maypen, Manchester, Spanish Town, KPH, and where the next? UWE. And plus he might collect counselor salary. Mighty God. This can't real. Hello, good night. Hello?
Yo, Andre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, me. Well, my first time, listen to me. $750,000 for dead. That's the cheapest.
750,000 one day. And the cheapest one that. You hear me? All right, my boss.
All right, caller. Lord Jesus. Near $500,000 to 750,000. Hello, good night. Hello.
Andre,
yes.
Mr. Stevens.
Yes, caller. Good night.
You see, when you praise God, good night, my son, good night.
Yes.
You see, when you touch the COVID, these doctors, and I quote, because I have to quote on your program, you know. These doctors knew about COVID in Jamaica before the public knew. Let me tell you why I say it. 2019, I went to Western Union. When I went to Western Union in Spanish Town, I feel my breath begin to shut down. I was beckoning, holding out my hand and beckoning to people in Spanish Town because I just feel my breath a lack off. I can't breathe through my nostril and I try to breathe through my mouth and nothing couldn't come. I stumbled downstairs and I remember seeing a sign marked Lucky Dollar. No, this is in Spanish Town.
Yes.
I moved towards the door because my breath began to shut down. Right? This is October of 2019.
That's the year that I went
when I finally reached into Lucky Dollar. I never, and that it was about after 2 going to 3 the afternoon, and I never realized myself again until about something 5 after 5. And there was no one, but I remember sitting into a settee in the chair, in the settee into the store. When I get home, I never know what to do because my breath, me can't hardly breathe. Me don't know what to do.
Yes.
When I eventually went to the doctor said to me, say, I have never seen this flu yet. And Mr. Stevens, not even as much as a painkiller named Panadol the doctor couldn't give me. He said, don't know what is this.
Really?
This is October 2019. You see, January. You see when COVID eventually break out, you know? When it break out, the doctor called me and said to me, say, Miss So-and-so, you realize what you did have in October last year? And I say, yes, doctor. And he said, it was COVID, you know. So if you can have a funeral home, right? You have set up these places for them where the public never know about yet. You know, she said the people them wicked.
It's something to look into, darling.
She said they're wicked.
Well, I don't know if they were planning for COVID. I don't know.
Andre, let me tell you something. Early on in October 2020,
yes,
I was at work, and I go on to YouTube. I'm say a movie I come, one nice movie I come.
Yes.
We see the nice movie I come. Till me call the attention of a teacher. I say, look on the movie where them are making in China. Because me just see the people that are on the train, whereas they go in, them are drop. People come off a bus, them are dropping at the road. So I believe it was a movie.
Yes.
It's when this thing bursts out now. in March, I realized that this thing wasn't a movie.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Thank you for that contribution. I have to move on now. You hear?
That is why they call it COVID-19.
Yeah, don't bother call it. Don't bother call the name on the program. All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that thing, though. Because I have to move on now. So I gather Jamaica that the first 3 days when the person dead is 150,000 per day. And if you plan to remove the body and down the business with them, it's 300,000 you have to pay to get the body moved. You hear that? So if your family go on Archers, 150,000 for the first 3 days. But if you plan to move the body, you have to pay $300,000. Funeral home business is big business. So if you not move the body, you have to pay that money and do business with them. Lord Jesus. Now this is a serious crime, you know. Hello, good night. Hello?
Andre.
Yes, Nicola, talk quick.
So I'm gonna understand this. So the JLP members, whatever the man name, they are chucking things on the Jamaicans. They did not give a chance or give the opportunity to say, yes, I want to go to this funeral home. And if you refuse to keep your body there, you have to pay for taking back.
Yes, you have to pay 300,000 to
Yo, that JLP party, yeah, a wicked party. And oneness and them people them is a scammer. Because you not give me an opportunity.
I wonder why the government of Jamaica don't have a national mortuary, no sir. You should have a place where can house the body, them and not send them to a special funeral home.
Right, one to the little local one them we're trying to make them little money for them family. So they are not for the poor people. They are not for poor people. They are for themselves. Then come in at the party as a wishy-washy, hungry belly, and a leave out in a era. If we get voted out in the next years, they're leaving rich.
Yeah, man, not for them a billionaire outside. Billionaire.
You understand? I don't understand why you're pushing things down in the Jamaicans' them mouth and the idiot them no see we are going.
All right, thank you.
So, I tell you, it is unfair.
Yeah, man. All right, Nicola, bless you. Is that serious business, this, you know? This is serious business, doing it. Any guess in there? This is serious business. Who? Wow. Wow. Professor Hamilton, good night.
Good night. How are you?
I am leading a new investigation into an allegation whereby a counselor for Dr. Christopher Tufton is the one who was receiving the contracts to get the dead of the funeral homes to him. And this is what them call himself again? Archer's funeral home. So I'm leading that discussion, but I know you're not here for that, but that's something that is developing that I'm going into. So I'm just letting you know that probably I'll need you to come back after we broaden this a little bit more to talk about the serious acts of nepotism in this government.